3:30 Bahrain. So yes, let's go ahead. 3:30 Bahrain, go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Definitely not good night, not so soon. Welcome to Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club meeting. Thank you so much for joining us today in another adventurous meeting, another speakathon of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club. I'm sure all of us right now are used to having such online meetings, so I don't need to remind you, please keep your camera on when you are attentive, keep it off when you want to do something else. Don't use the chat box when someone is on the virtual stage speaking, and we would love to have feedback. So after each speaker or evaluator, you can also use the chat box to have some feedback. For now, let me call on our president, the charming, he looks a bit old, but don't get deceived by his hair. He is so much young at heart. He is the champion of District 20, and we are so honored to have him here as our president. Please put your hands together to welcome President of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club, DTM Farhas Farouk.
Thank you so much, Mr. Immediate Past President, DTM Khalid Abdullah, PQD of District 20. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to him as well. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters. First and foremost, let me do the duties. Let me call meeting number 221 of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters to order. Thank you. Let's now get on with the agenda. Mr. Vice President Education, Madam Secretary, have any apologies been received from the members?
Yes, Mr. President, this is Vice President Education. We have received an apology from our VP Public Relations due to a personal examination that she's busy there.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President Education. My connection is a bit patchy today, so I assume there was one apology received. Madam Secretary, any apologies received by you?
No, nothing today.
Thank you. Please, if you could record the apology of Toastmaster Amanda Rabo, our Vice President of Public Relations. And with that, let me now get on to the task of introducing our guests. And we have a galaxy of stars from all over the world gracing us. And let me start with DTM Krishanti. Madam, a quick introduction about yourself, please. Most welcome to BAT.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name, as you've heard, is Krishanti Emmanuel. I know Farhas actually through a common membership we have in an advanced Toastmasters club right here in Sri Lanka, of which I've had the pleasure and the privilege of being the charter president. I've been with Toastmasters for quite a while now, and I'm, as you would see, I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, and I'm looking forward to learning all I can from seeing how an advanced Toastmasters club operates cross-culturally. So thank you for inviting me. Back to you, Mr. President.
Most welcome, DTM Krishanti. Next, let me look through the list of guests. Yes, Toastmaster. By the way, this is in no particular order. I'm just going through how the little boxes appear on my screen. Toastmaster Samia Khan, please may I have you to introduce yourself, ma'am?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I am Samia Khan. And by profession, I'm a dietitian or nutritionist. And I'm currently part of Prudent Family Toastmasters Club. I'm the VPPR there. And it is a real privilege to be part of the speakathon, and I'm really looking forward to it and to attend many more. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Most welcome, Toastmaster Samia. And remind me to take your number because I certainly need a little bit of help with my diet. DTM Petra, please introduce yourself. You don't need an introduction, but I would invite you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, sir. And greeting from Thailand. I am Petra, and I'm a member of 4 clubs. I've been a member since 2001. At the age of 53, So I hope your math is not so good. Thank you very much.
We would not tell anybody. DTM Petra, very great to have you with us now. DTM Zaid, please introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you very much, DTM Faraz. My name is Zaid Naushad, and I'm part of 3 Toastmasters clubs in District 82, Expo Lanka Toastmasters Club, Pinnacle Advanced Toastmasters Club, and Readers Toastmasters Club. By profession, I am into logistics and supply chain field, and it is absolutely good to see all of you here. One thing I must say about DTM Faraz Farooq, that's how we know him is through the common club, common advanced club we share. If world is a global village, I think no one is best to be the ambassador other than DTM Faraz Farooq, connecting us everywhere, every country. Thank you, DTM Faraz, for the opportunity as well. Over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Zaid. Great to know. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the hunt for a good stock to buy, please buy the stocks of the company he works for. It's been skyrocketing like crazy over the past few weeks. Anyway, that's my little bit of stock exchange news, inside news. Toastmaster Omar Farooq, you are not a guest, but I still need you to introduce yourself.
Oh, see, I have given so many introductions in the last year or so. So sometimes I put some maybe different, okay, maybe add this or maybe not that or something. I am Toastmaster Omar Farooq Awan and president of Speak to Impact Toastmasters Club and immediate past president of Horizon Toastmasters Club, and also happen to be the Area 31 director of BVNF District 79. I have been a Toastmaster since February 2019, and I work as a senior intern auditor for Renault Automobiles for the last 8 years. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Most welcome. And I think since you have been introducing yourself as a guest for so long, it's probably time that our Vice President membership contacts you.
He already contacted me.
Oh, excellent. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did. We should try to. Next, let me get to Toastmaster Riaz Javid. Thanks for being with us. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Farhaz, for inviting me. Actually, I'm out, so I cannot come on camera. I'm really excited to attend this and witness this great event. And our Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Samia Khan, is one of the evaluators today. So that makes it as more interesting and a privilege to watch this event. And I'm from Dammam and an old friend of Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq. So thanks for inviting me. Back to you.
Most welcome. Any friend of Ghulam Farooq is a friend of mine, or it could be the other way around. I just don't know. But anyway, that's for a different story. We'll share that story over a cup of tea. Toastmaster Derek Garcia, most welcome to that. A quick introduction of you, sir.
Good morning, everyone, and please excuse my camera this morning. I am Toastmaster Derek Garcia Roll from the Bahamas, District 47. It's a pleasure to join you once again this morning.
Most welcome, Derek. Thank you so much for being with us. And it's such a great privilege to have guests from Bahamas all the way. All the best and have a great day. Next, Toastmaster Anshuli Sharma.
Hi, good evening all. Sorry for not opening camera, driving as right now. Yeah, I'm from Bollywood Bilingual Toastmaster Club from Dubai. And thanks to Omar sir, Omar Farooq. He just shared the link. So I'm here and looking forward for this meeting. Thank you.
Most welcome and drive safely, ma'am. And once you get home, maybe we would like to see you as well. All the best. Toastmaster Geeta Kashyap.
Hi, hello. Actually, I'm from Delhi, Toastmasters Indrapuram Club. Right now, I'm in Dubai and looking forward to enjoy all the speeches here today. Thank you.
Most welcome, Toastmaster Geeta. And finally, last but not least, of course, is Sergey Soru. I hope I pronounce your name right, sir. Toastmaster Sergey Soru.
Yes, Sergey Soru. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you indeed are.
Okay, joining you from Accra. I've just seen the link.
Brilliant.
And
most welcome. Thank you so much.
About everyone. This is going to be very interesting. So I'm in to learn. I'm from New Age Toastmasters Club.
Most welcome. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Accra. And we have had guests from your part of the world before, so it's indeed a pleasure to have you. Indeed, an honor to have you back here. And finally, Toastmaster Muhammad Bukharuddin.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Toastmaster Muhammad Bikhar from Bahrain IT Professional Toastmasters Club. I was coming too many times to bat, but now I'm not getting much invitation thanks to Toastmaster Noha. So I would like to enjoy this speakathon meeting. I would like to listen from especially all the speakers and DTM Khaled as well. So I will be part of your wonderful meeting. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Muhammad Bukharuddin. I really take issue with my exco for not inviting Toastmaster Muhammad Bukharuddin to our meetings. Please keep a note of it and invite him for all the meetings. We saw what he did yesterday at another meeting, so he can do wonders. Most welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us. I can see one more guest has walked in, and we still have time, so I will take his introduction as well. Toastmaster Vinay Maheshwari. Vinay D. Maheshwari.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Quick introduction, please.
Just I logged in and you called my name. I was a bit, yeah. All right. How are you?
Thank you so much.
All good?
Most welcome. Most welcome. Thank you for being with us. Thank you so much, dear guests.
My pleasure.
I think I have covered all the guests who have come here. I'm really deeply honored and privileged to serve as your host today, and most welcome to Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for a quick presidential address before we get to the proceedings. And I would like to touch a little bit on our theme, which is leading by example. And I picked two quotes, both quotes from leaders of Toastmasters International. And the first one I would like to start with is by Muhammad Murad, past international president 2014-2015. And he said, the simplest thing we can do to understand other people's definition of leadership is to sit down and ask them. He made it so simple. If we really want to find out what leadership is, just sit down and have a chat. There'll be a lot for us to learn. And this took me back to the days I spent in school, where I used to go for sports training. And we had this sports teacher, the coach, who used to turn up in a shirt and trouser and office shoes and try to teach us how to play football and how to play rugby and whatever the sports were. And I used to always think, how can you really teach me to play a game if you are dressed up like you're going to a party? And he never bothered to ask me or my team members what we wanted of the coach. That takes me to another leader, this time after school. And this was at an office at a company where I was working, and we were shifting offices. And we were given big carton boxes, and we filled all of our things into those boxes. We kept them ready, and we were all just hanging around waiting for someone to come and help us with the boxes. Around 10:30, our boss walks in, t-shirt, denim, and he looks at all the boxes. He walks into his room, he sees his boxes, he carries one, and he walks out to the lorry outside. As soon as me and my friend saw this happening, he said, okay, so that's how it's supposed to happen. We are not supposed to hang around waiting for someone to pick the boxes. We got to carry it ourselves. So all of us started quickly picking up the boxes and putting it into the lorry. And within no time, in about 45 minutes, all the boxes, carton boxes, were in the lorry. This leader didn't ask us what we wanted. He showed us what should be done in that particular situation. So friends, leading by example is what leadership is all about. We should understand what the people who we lead expect of us, or need to know, or need to learn, and simply do it and show. And that is probably the best way in which we could certainly lead by example. Which takes me to a statement made by the founding father of Toastmasters International, Dr. Ralston Smedley. And I quote, he says, "People are more willing to follow a leader who knows where he is going." Dr. Ralston Smedley wanted us to be leaders, wanted us to develop as leaders, and he wanted us to develop as leaders who lead by example, who know where to go, and we take our flock with us where we think they should be headed to. So friends, let's take lessons from these great leaders, pay heed to the warnings and to the advices they have given. If we are to step into those shoes, to the shoes of leadership, let's resolve that we would figure out what those who are leading want of us, first of all, and then we step into those shoes and lead by example. Fellow Toastmasters, that is probably the best way we can pay homage to all these great leaders who have given us this great path. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I now am indeed privileged to introduce you to the Master of Ceremonies for this evening. Now, this lady, from what I know, is fairly new to Toastmasters. She joined Toastmasters probably maybe less than about a year ago. But her achievements in her short period as a Toastmaster, I can tell you, puts people like me to shame. She not only did build her network and build it up really fast, but she has made her presence felt in her initial club where she started off and quickly branching out to different clubs. So much so that we had to actually request her, can you please join that as well? And I'm sure lots of clubs where she's a member in did the same thing to bring her into the fold. By profession, well, personally, she's a mother, she's got lovely kids, and always the kids are also part of our meeting. Whenever she speaks, we hear them also participate in the meeting in the side, which is something I encourage, by the way. I love the sound of kids in the background. That's how we need to make them learn how things are to be done. And by profession, she's a translator. She translates and she does translations to a very high standard. And anybody needing translation services, please contact her. I have tested her out and she's pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Nuha Madani, the Toastmaster of the evening, to take on from here. Madam, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this wonderful introduction. Well, the best leader you have ever followed is probably led by example. But how to lead by example? You might have noticed that over the past few days, I've been annoying all our speakers and evaluators to send me information about their best leaders and why they chose them and their favorite leadership quote. And I was doing that to get an idea about what is exactly leading by example. The phrase leading by example itself came from a famous quote by Albert Schweitzer. He said, "The three most important ways to lead people are by example, and by example." So before I give you my conclusion from what everyone sent to me, let me first share with you something. Our social media accounts. I led by example. I liked and shared every single one of them. Please do that as well. Now, how to lead by example? I came to 4 important points that I think is important when we explain how to lead by example. The first thing is that your values and behaviors should match. You can't ask people to do something when you're not doing it yourself. If you're saying they have to do it, even though I'm not doing it, it sounds like you are a hypocrite. And we may remember the story of Gandhi when a mom came approaching him and asking him to tell her son to stop eating sugar. And he told her to come back after 2 weeks, and then he will tell him. And after 2 weeks, when she came, he told the boy, don't eat sugar. And she asked him, why? You could have told him that 2 weeks ago. And he said, 2 weeks ago, I was eating sugar. The second thing is that you need to take action. You see a need, you take action. And this action may be by taking initiative, like our president demonstrated in his speech, or sometimes by looking for opportunity and invite those people to this opportunity so they can prosper and grow. And the third thing is that to hold yourself to a higher standard. So when we look up to a leader, we look up to their standard. If we see them cutting corners and doing something ethically that should not be doing, then they are compromising their credibility. So a leader is like a fish in a fishbowl. Everyone will notice exactly what they will do. And the fourth and last thing is to bring out the best of people around you by coaching, by teaching, by mentoring, and inviting them in an encouraging and supportive way. And that is also what BAT did to me when they invited me to be a member of BAT. And now, let me start by introducing our key role player for today's evening. Is my screen visible?
And you are visible.
Yes.
Please confirm if the screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. So our key role player for today is a business development consultant by profession and a budding coach by passion, who accidentally joined Toastmaster back in November 2018. Surprisingly, he is now a member of over 6 clubs in 2 districts and has served as treasurer, VP membership, VP education, and currently, beside being the Area 2 director, he's also president of Allied Bahrain Communicators and vice president education of Bahrain Debaters and our own club, Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster. He is the demonstration of a Toastmasters wears many hats. Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq, please explain your role.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, and dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. As stammer, I'll be timing the speeches and the evaluations, and I'll also be alerting each speaker of the time they have left using the green, amber, and the red cards. Most of our speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, but some of our speeches, like the first speech is an icebreaker, which is 4 to 6 minutes, and our final speech is 8 to 10 minutes. So 2 minutes before the allotted time, I'll be showing the green card, and 1 minute before the allotted time, I'll be showing the amber card, and at the end of the allotted time, I'll be showing the red card. You all have 30 minutes of grace, 30 seconds of grace period. And as for the individual evaluations, all of them should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll be showing the green card. At 2.5 minutes, I'll be showing the amber card. And at the 3 minutes, I'll be raising the red card. Kindly request all of you to follow the guidelines for the time. And please pin me before starting your speech. And just before I start, just an instruction to our Master of Ceremonies. We are a little behind time, so please let us catch up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Farooq. Now it's my pleasure to invite our first evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Rana Al-Mannai, who will be evaluating Distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz Farooq Icebreaker. Toastmaster Rana Al-Mannai is a member of various Toastmasters Club and served as ex-com in different clubs as well as in our BAT club. She worked in so many events for Toastmasters, and the last one is District 20 DTAC event. She likes to be a member to learn in a different ways and to serve others. Distinguished Toastmaster Rana, please explain the project objectives for Toastmaster Farouk.
Salam and hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to fellow Toastmaster. And welcome to all new members and guests. Nice to meet you and hope that we can see you more in our club. Today, I will be evaluator for DTM Farhaz Farouk speech. And I will pretend that I will know him for the first time, that I didn't know him before. For Pursue's self-influence manual, he will do his icebreaker for XXX times, and it will be for, I will read the statement for his evaluations. The purpose of this project for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Please, the timer, not 4 to 6 minutes for our speaker. Dear DTM Farhaz, I wish you all the best in your speech and all the best again. Good luck. And back to you, to the MC. And thank you for your introduction. Thank you. And back to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rana. Now, our speaker.
Just for your information, still I didn't become DTM, inshallah soon. TM until now.
Soon to be DTM, soon to be DTM, Rana
Inshallah.
Al-Mannai, inshallah. Now, our speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz Farouk, is a member of 8 clubs in District 20 and District 82. He's the president of Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster, Bahrain Secretary of Council to Advanced Toastmasters in Sri Lanka. He's a club coach of clubs in Sri Lanka, Bahrain, and Kuwait. He is a speech contest winner in all categories up to district level. His aim in life is to leave behind useful knowledge that could benefit humanity and himself for eternity. He's speaking from persuasive influence, level 1 icebreaker. The elegant actor, distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz Farouk, distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz, the elegant actor. Over to you.
Robin Hood was safely locked inside the sheriff's dungeon, but there was news of a plan for him to break out. I ran into the court of the sheriff of Nottingham, all bloodied and soaked in mud, with my trusted sword in hand, and I delivered this important message to the sheriff. That, Madam Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, was me acting in a school play at the ripe old age of 8. The costume was simple. Sports tracksuit, green in color, I remember. A long cloth to pretend to be the cape. A plastic sword splattered with red paint for special effect. But before I started, I asked myself 2 questions. Can I do it? And how will it end? And when I was convinced that this was going to end well, I went and told my parents about it. They heard me out and said, go ahead and do it. It's good for you. You will learn quicker. The next year, I wanted to take part again, but this time it was going to be a little bit more complicated. First of all, the costume was complicated. The venue was not at school, it was outside. It was a dance routine. The song was in Konkani and it involved girls. 9-year-old. Great combination. So I asked myself, can I do it? How will it end? But first of all, I needed to learn the song. So I started memorizing. Vallore Nakuvaho, Vallore Rama. Tan, 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 tan. That went on and on. And once I got the song in place, I went to my parents and said, I'm going to take part in a dance. And I told the whole story. They heard me out and said, you know what? Go ahead and do it. It is good for you, but don't touch the girls. Okay, mama. And I went ahead and did it. As I grew older, my interest diversified into electronic games. Now, people from my era will know some of the names of games that I'm going to read out to you now. Game and Watch, Atari, Casio, those small games where you used to shoot ships up, Sinclair, Commodore. These were the various game consoles that were available. And you name it, I had used it either by myself, by owning some, or because my friends had. But before I decided to buy something, I thought to myself, can I do it? How will it end? And then I was convinced, no, it's going to end well. So let me go and speak to my parents. And they heard me out and said, yes, 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 go ahead and do it. It's good for you. It will improve your reflexes. And at least you will not go outside and start fighting with the boys in the neighborhood. That phase also passed. As I got to my mid and late teens, I wanted to get a pedal bicycle first and a motorcycle later. Once again, the same two questions, my dear friends, came to my mind. Can I do it? And how will it end? And I was convinced I needed a pedal bicycle, I needed a motorcycle. So I went to my parents and said, I need these. And they told me, go ahead, get it. It is good for you, but be careful. Don't get yourself into an accident and get yourself killed. I got myself a bicycle and a motorcycle and went on with my life. As I grew older, obviously I went to study, I became an accountant. And in the process, I also started looking for not just a career, but somebody who could potentially be my life partner. So I was searching high and low, matching the different criteria I had on my list to the various individuals I met in my class, in the bus stand, in the supermarket. And eventually, I found this one person who managed to tick most of the boxes out of my stringent requirements. But before I made the move, I again asked myself, can I do this and how will this end? I was convinced she's the one. So I went and told my parents. My parents heard me out and said, yes, go ahead and do it. After all, you are 22, 23. It's probably good for you. Otherwise, you will go around and ruin your name. So I went ahead and got myself married. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, at each stage, I first had to convince myself. And once that was done, I had to persuade my parents. They gave me permission as if it was their own idea. And I really liked it that way. This brings me to a saying that I came across. It says, elegant persuasion is when other people think it's their idea. And talking about acting, since I started this speech with the whole concept of acting, I remember Sir Laurence Olivier, the famous actor, has said, the actor persuades himself first and then through himself persuades others. Ladies and gentlemen, all the world is a stage and all of us are actors. Bring elegant persuasion to your life. Become that elegant actor that all the above phrases that I quoted advise us about. Be persuasive. Let everybody think it's their idea, but convince yourself first. Be the elegant actor. And now I am off to revise the Konkani song once again. Vallore nakuva ho, vallore Rama. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz. I believe, yes, it's your call. You have to take responsibility for your calls. Our next evaluator will be Toastmaster Omar Farouk 1, he will be evaluating speaker number 2, Toastmaster Bitamper Nair. Toastmaster Omar loves reading books, teaching, playing chess, listening to music, watching movies, and of course, Toastmastering. He is the immediate past president of Horizon Toastmasters Club in District 79, president of Speak to Impact Toastmasters Club, and currently is the Area 31 director of Division F, District 79. Toastmaster Omar Farouk, please explain the speaker's objective.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nuha, for the introduction. Toastmaster Pitambaram will be attempting Pathway Persuasive Influence, Level 1 Project 2, Speech number 2. Objectives are to apply the feedback that he has received in the first speech of that project and deliver a speech on any subject of his choice. His speech title is Your Real Life Partner, and timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the very best, Toastmaster Pitambaram. Over to you, Master 7.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Omar Farouk. Speaker number 2, Toastmaster Bitamper Nair. He's a passionate Toastmaster who takes every opportunity to learn something new whenever possible. He's also a very initiative person because he was the first one to contact me after we scheduled the event. He's speaking from Path Persuasive Influence, Level 1, Evaluation and Feedback, speech number 2. Speech title, Your Real Life Partner. Toastmaster Bitamber Nair, your real life partner. Over to you. You're on mute.
Did you all hear my speech title? Can anyone say that?
Your real life partner.
Right, real life.
Your real life partner. Great. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. So can someone reply to me the question? Who is your real life partner?
Yourself.
The person that lives inside you.
Well, it's most of the time.
Khalid?
Myself.
Your wife.
I will give you a clue for that answer. That is, your real life partner is someone who is there from your birth till your death. Any reply? DTM Zara?
Yourself?
They said yourself.
Yourself, exactly. Your real life partner is your body. The moment it stops functioning or falling into disorder, none of the partners you think otherwise be it your brain, be it your heart, be it your kidney, liver, pancreas, everything and everything is functioning 24/7 unconditionally to serve you, to a better person, to a healthy individual. But what we give in return? Stress, tension, unwanted things. Junk food should become like an Uncle Bon, giving too much of workload to your internal organs. That's what we're giving in return. Way back in 2014, November, on a fine afternoon, I got a call from my wife saying that, "Hi, my son is admitted in the ICU." I knew the previous day that he was having a bit of fever. I got in touch with the doctor. He explained to me saying that your son creatine level has increased to 7, and that is the reason he is in ICU. If it is not coming down in another 24 to 48 hours, we may have to start dialysis. Just imagine an 8-year-old boy need to undergo dialysis. The doctor was kind enough to pass the telephone to my son. He asked him. He replied to me, Dad, for the last 2 days during the school athletics time, I was not drinking enough water. But I'm sure I will be okay. It was a huge relief for me. See, an 8-year-old boy, for not having sufficient water for 2 days, landed up in an ICU. And what we do to take care about our internal organs? We give unwanted pressure, unwanted tension, a lot of smoking, drinks, unwanted things, and whatever we feel fit enough food, giving lots of load to our internal organs. Assume after a hectic day of work, you are returning to your home. Your wife or your husband, your kids, parents, everyone is there around. But nobody is giving you attention to what you need. How you will feel? Frustrated? Sad? Mad? You may be coming across with lots of feeling, saying that, oh, I am doing a lot of things for them, but they are not giving me even attention. Assume your internal organs, which functions 24/7 unconditionally to make you work, keep you walking, keep you thinking. What will happen if it breaks down for a day? For a few hours, can you afford it? No, we cannot afford, because we know that our internal organs, the one which keeping us moving, keeping us thinking. But despite of knowing all these things, we at times fail to give sufficient care, compassion, and attention to our own body. And the result, as the 8-year-old boy was in hospital, we may land up in hospital, even unrecoverable situations. Do we really need it? No. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start taking care more about our body. We can call the current time diseases lifestyle diseases. How it become a lifestyle disease? Just because our ignorance. Whatever we do, thinking that it is good, it's not really good. Take care of your body well. Love yourself first before you start loving someone else. Once you start doing that, your body will embrace you with love, care, and compassion to make you feel better, think better. So, who is your real life partner? Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pitamban. Be yourself, everybody else is taken. What a wonderful speech. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Deepak Nawarda. He will be evaluated by Toastmaster Saeed Abbas, Distinguished Toastmaster Saeed Abbas Al-Alawi, but unfortunately, Distinguished Toastmaster Saeed Abbas Al-Alawi just had an emergency. So I request that we move to speaker number 4 until we resolve this issue. Mr. President.
If that's a proposal, madam, yes, I would like to second that proposal. Let's go ahead.
Okay, great. So our fourth speaker is Distinguished Toastmaster Zahra. She will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Zaid Naushad. He is Toastmaster Leadership Institute Chair of District 82, past President of Pinnacle Advanced Toastmasters Club and Expo Lenka Toastmasters Club. He will be evaluating. DTM Zahra, please explain the speaker's objectives. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. And today, Toastmaster Zahra Al-Muharrak, I hope I pronounced her name right. Yes, is attempting her third project on level 1, which is research and presenting from the PATH team collaboration. Now, as per the objectives, the purpose statement goes like this. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn and review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic, and the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Good luck, Toastmaster Zahra, and I would like to hand over to the Toastmaster to reveal the topic and introduce the speaker.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster Zahra Al-Muharrak is a designer and educator. She's the immediate past area 35 director and soon to be, very soon, inshallah, to be the world champion. She's speaking from her PATH team collaboration, level 1, research and present. Speech title, Teacher's Diary by Zahra Al-Muharrak. Teacher's Diary. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Zahra.
Am I audible?
You're both audible and visible.
94 millions of people around the world are teachers. It's the second highest ranking occupation after military. And that's according to the statistic conducted by the UNESCO in 2020. How many teachers do we have here? Fellow Toastmasters, our honorable guests, good afternoon to you. Once upon a time, a fresh graduate lady without any background in the educational field became a teacher. On my first day, I was ready, dressed well, my jacket, high heels, and of course, makeup. I forgot to prepare a lesson plan. In fact, I didn't know what to prepare. I entered the class without lesson plan. And I started thinking and thinking and thinking. The students, they realized that she's not ready. They started talking, moving, jumping, and screaming out loud. I didn't know what to do. I stood quietly waiting for them, shouting at them. Didn't work. I went back home frustrated, and to be honest, I was boiling mad. Luckily, my mom was a teacher, so she taught me the class management techniques and how to prepare a lesson plan. A day after a month, a year after another, I started mastering this. After 3 years, 2020, February 24, the first COVID case in Bahrain. The pandemic started and the entire world changed, including teaching. We were frustrated. We didn't know what to do, and we were forced to teach online. We started searching for suitable virtual classrooms, suitable websites and materials. We were working days and nights just to prepare the students and to maintain the same quality. Once, the school principal said in one of the meetings, let's look at the bright side. We are blessed. The online meetings and the virtual classrooms saves our time and energy. What? We're overloaded. But he was very serious about it. So I started searching and I found a statistic by the Corporate Finance Institute says that the virtual classrooms and the e-learning saves teachers time and energy by 40 to 60%. I started thinking, how? But then I realized, and instead of preparing test papers, print it out, distribute it, collect it back, grade it, and distribute it again. We can prepare an online test, share the link, and by click of a button, we will be able to receive the results, the overall grade, and statistics. Moreover, class management. It became super easy. All what you need to do, mute the meeting and enjoy your time. Hello, Toastmasters. The pandemic changed everything, and even the learning as well, from traditional to online. But I should say that we as a teachers, we tried our very best and we're trying to maintain the same quality. Another statistic, and that was conducted by the educators from Babson Survey Research Group, shows that 77% of educators all around the world, they believe that the online learning is as good as the traditional. I totally agree. We're teaching the same material. We do meet the students every day, in every class. They do participate, send their comments, then ask and send their assignments. We grade it and send it back. Everything is available, but virtually. Fellow Toastmasters, to conclude, change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end, said by Robin Sharma. The idea of online sessions started to be not accepted by all of us. It was a strange thing, but while things moved on, we realized that there are lots of advantages: convenient, effective, and it saves our time and energy. Fellow Toastmasters, in every change we make in our life, there are advantages and disadvantages. But always remember to focus on the bright side and mute all the noise. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Zahra. I believe, yes, the online learning is as good as physical learning if it is presented properly. Toastmaster Farooq Qadir.
Yes,
You're
Madam
right.
Master of
Yes.
Ceremonies. I'd just like to request that if Toastmaster Deepak is ready, then Distinguished Toastmaster Khaled Abdullah will be doing his evaluation for his speech. If that's.
It's my pleasure. It will be my pleasure if everyone allows it.
Thank you, dear sir. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sometimes emergencies happen, sir.
Wonderful. So to evaluate our next speaker, his evaluator is Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. He's District 20 Program Quality Director for the term 2021-22. He's the immediate past Club Growth Director, President of Active Minds Toastmaster, President of Bahrain Debaters Toastmasters, immediate past President of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters, and also a member of Baco Toastmasters Club, St. Paul Toastmasters Club, and Tamakan Advanced Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah, please explain the speaker objectives.
Thank you so much, our amazing Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, and team guests. Good evening to all of you, and special good evening to Toastmaster Deepak, who is standing and there to jump like a tiger for his speech. But before that, let me explain the objective of this tiger who is about to jump and inspire us. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Timer note, the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Tiger, you may jump in and inspire us. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. Our speaker, Toastmaster Deepak Nawarda, is speaking. He is a chemical engineer with MBA in marketing with 20 plus years of experience in oil and gas industry. In the past, he completed the CC manual and now he's in his first pathway. He is speaking from the Path Effective Coaching Level 1 Evaluation and Feedback. Speech title, Bus Conductor to Toastmaster. Bus Conductor to Toastmaster, Toastmaster Deepak Nawarda. Over to you.
Whatever your mind can conceive and pursue, you can achieve. Good evening, Master of Ceremony, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. This mantra was given by a great author called Shiv Khera in his book called You Can Win. This mantra I experienced throughout my life. This story is when I was in class 7. I was feeling as if I'm in heaven. I was sitting in a party in the night at 11. This party was thrown by a big industrialist in my hometown. The air was filled with happiness. Darkness was filled with brightness. The silence of night was chilled with music and magic. You all must be wondering what I was doing in that party, what happened in that party, and what is the relationship between a title of this speech and this incident. I will come back to it in a little while. So, coming back to the story of bus conductor to Toastmaster, when I was 6-year-old, I used to travel by a bus. I was very fascinated by these colorful bus tickets. As a hobby, I used to collect all those tickets. But I used to envy that bus conductor because he used to have so many tickets, colorful tickets. And at the same time, he used to get a lot of money for that. I thought this is the best career I can imagine for myself. I decided to become a bus conductor. Perfectly perfect. But then something else happened. When I was in class 3, my father got a radio called Murphy. It was a wonderful machine. Sounds were coming from inside. Music was coming from inside. News was coming from inside. We were wondering how come this is happening? Is somebody sitting inside? So myself and my brother, we got curious. We decided to open the radio when my father was at work. But after opening radio, we could not find anything useful except few wires and chips. But by then it was late. My father was at home and we were very scared. Being a good gentleman, instead of scolding us, my father collected all those parts, put it into carry bag, took us to the radio repairman, and within no time, this radio man repaired the radio and it started working. Wow, perfectly perfect. I decided to become a radio repairman. But soon I realized this radio repairman is as poor as us. So I started looking for an alternate career. I used to live in an area called Janwadi in my hometown Pune, which is kind of a slum area. So there used to live a gangster called Manjunath. He was kind of a Robin Hood style gangster. He was rich by our standard. Even politicians used to come and meet him. He used to give chocolates and toys to us. So I was almost thinking of becoming a gangster. But soon a news came in that he was assassinated by a rivalry gang. Not so perfectly perfect. So coming back to story of class 7, when I was feeling as if I'm in heaven, my mother used to work for this industrialist as a cook. And over a period of a time, their kids also become my friend. And that's how I was invited along with my brother to this particular party. I was wondering during that party, how come these people are so rich and enjoying life? And at the same time, they are very good human being, humble and helping everyone around them. And then I came to know, I discovered that most of them in that party are engineers. And this time it was really perfectly perfect. I decided to become an engineer. After engineering, I joined Indian MNC. I started enjoying life. I got married. And then I came across a speech of a great politician in India, in my hometown. The speech was marvelous. Each and every sentence of that speech was followed by either round of applause or a laughter or a whistle. And that day I decided that I want to become a public speaker. But my true journey towards public speaking started when I joined Toastmaster. Today, I am not a great speaker like DTM Khalid or DTM Farooq, but I'm very, very happy that I am able to motivate kids to pursue their education, to keep themselves away from alcohol and substance, as I am part of one NGO, Sarupardini, in my hometown. And they are in developing kids from the slum area. So during this journey of conductor to Toastmaster, I learned 3 key things in my life. Key to successful life is education. Key to successful speaker is Toastmaster. And key for successful Toastmaster is BAT, Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. Perfectly perfect. Thank you.
Someone hijacked our master of ceremonies.
I think, did she get disconnected?
One of the gangsters of Toastmaster Deepak came in.
Deepak, Toastmaster Deepak, what did you do?
Last we heard from her was she was asking to sign the guest book. I don't know if one of the guests hijacked her.
Or she went
No,
to get a new member.
I'm an engineer and Toastmaster, not a gangster, so it's not my hand in that for sure.
Master of ceremony is blown away by Deepak's speech. Huh?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay.
Perfectly perfect.
Blown away out of the meeting.
Yeah, what we'll do is, until she finds her way back, let me introduce the next speaker. And that is, hang on a minute. She did warn me this might happen. So please bear with me just 1 minute, because I do have the presentation that she very painstakingly prepared. So with your permission, let me switch that on, and I will step into the role of the Toastmaster of the evening. That is assuming my internet cooperates. Yes, it is cooperating. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me share my screen with your permission. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker that I have the privilege of introducing, or am I stuck? No, I think I am stuck.
I think,
Can you
Mr.
have-
President, it's just better to read out, if possible, the evaluator.
Okay,
Not
let me
as-
just read out. But the thing is, now my entire system has got stuck. I have a feeling this thing is a bit jinxed, but let me let me read out as you rightly said. Let me. So the next speaker is Toastmaster is DTM Thuraya, and in order to evaluate DTM Thuraya, we have Toastmaster Vidat, the secretary of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters. Toastmaster Vidat, I would give the screen to you. If you could please introduce the objectives of our speaker, please. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Are you interested in knowing more about effective body language? If yes, I believe you are in the right place. Our next speaker is DTM Dr. Thuraya Jumaa. She's presenting the presentation mastery, the pathway level 2. And the the title of her presentation is Running After the Hogwarts Express. The purpose of her speech for today is to deliver with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how she uses nonverbal communication, how she uses nonverbal communication when delivering a speech. The floor is yours. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vidat. Let's give her a big round of applause.
And let's
now-
all wish Dr. Thuraya the best luck.
Yes, we certainly should. And next speaker is DTM Thuraya. Now, DTM Thuraya and me have this unique relationship whereby we were the partners in crime when it came to pathways implementation in District 20. She was the pathways ambassador, I was the pathways guide, and we kind of worked together. So we know a little bit about each other. But one thing that lots of us do not know is she's probably, come on, switch your video on, DTM Thuraya. She's probably doing her speech now standing on a book of calculus. That's something we found out the last time. DTM Thuraya is speaking. Yeah, it's a calculus book, right? You're standing on. So DTM Thuraya is attempting effective body language from her chosen path, which is presentation mastery. The time is 5 to 7 minutes, and the speech title, Running After the Hogwarts Express. Running After the Hogwarts Express. DTM Thuraya Jumaa, the screen is yours. You are on mute, madam. You did the same thing last time as well.
Sorry, I was muted.
Let's blame it on the calculus book.
We are going to London. Hey! Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmaster, honorable guests. It was summer 2016. I decided to take my 4 nieces to a trip to London. Meet them. Fatima, 13 years old, Bahia, 12 years old, another Bahia, 7 years old, and May, 8 years old. I sat with them, planned our day. We are spending 10 amazing days in London, alone together. So we have planned where we are going to go every day. London is full of tourist places, if you know. And for kids, there are many places kids want to go. From Big Ben to London Wheel, to the museum, to the aquarium, and we don't forget London Zoo, of course, to see all the animals. So we have, or that's what I thought, I have the perfect plan for our whole trip. So every day, the kids will be ready, excited, putting their clothes, having their backpack, and ready to explore London. Till the 3rd day, we went to the museum, Natural History Museum. They ran from one room to another, looking at all the animals, from the dinosaurs to the giraffe, to the fish, to the lions, to the monkeys. They were excited, running, and I am running after them to have them all in one place, because it was summer and all London places is full of tourists. That day, they were really exhausted. So instead of taking them back to the hotel, I said, we are going to have dinner outside in the nice breezy night. They started eating, but then suddenly all of them, I could see them. Huh, Auntie, I said, what? What happened? Look at the bus. Which bus? That bus. And I looked, and on that bus is written, the Hogwarts Express. Join us to explore Harry Potter wizardly world at Warner Bros. Studio. Please, Auntie, please take us to that place. We want Harry Potter. Yes, Auntie. I said, okay, be quiet. We are in a restaurant, not in our room. And they were happy when I said, okay, I'm going to book. So once we reached the hotel, I called, searched the internet, and found the place. We booked the ticket, and after 2 days, we received the tickets and the passport for exploring Harry Potter using, of course, the Hogwarts Express. On the day, they woke up in the morning, excited, ready to explore Harry Potter world. So we were waiting for a taxi to take us to the coach station. So taxi, and the taxi came, but did not stop, passed away, it was occupied. Another taxi, again, it passed and we couldn't get it. Luckily, the 3rd one came. It was rush hour, early morning, everyone going to place to work, and London, not like in Bahrain, they use taxi. So that's why it took us a while. I said to the taxi, I want to go to coach station where the Hogwarts Express. Do you know it? Yes, I know it. All the tourists with their kids, they go there. Don't worry, madam. Just sit behind with the kids and I will drive you through London to the coach station. We reach the coach station, regardless of the busy road, we reach there before time. It was strange. Not a single person was there. Where is the tourist? Where is the kids? Nothing. He said, get out of the bus. You reach your destination. Now time to leave. We came out of the taxi, but there was not a single sign indicating that we are going to Harry Potter. Something strange. So I entered to the station and checked with them. The conductor said to me, "Oh, madam, you are at the wrong place." I said, "What? Wrong place? What do you mean?" The bus stop is at the other side of the station. You have 10 minutes because another bus is coming. You need to cross the park and you will reach it. You think I can make it with the kids? Yes, you have 2 feet, so run and they will run with you and you will reach the bus. So I said to the kids, "Are you ready, girls? Make sure your laces is tied." And I was running. They ran behind me. Then suddenly my niece screamed, "Ah, auntie!" I said, "What?" She said, "Auntie, look." And she gave me this. And I said, "What is this?" She said, "While we were running, I stepped on the squirrel tail and it came off. And the squirrel ran away." "Oh, thanks God, you didn't kill it." No, auntie, it's run away." "Okay, just take the tail with us. It will be a nice memory for us. And keep running because of the bus. We need to catch the bus." And I was running. They ran behind me. Imagine that you are running and 4 kids running after you. And I saw the bus. I said, "The bus, it started moving, move quickly." But then I was lucky because the bus driver saw us. By the time I reached, I was out of breath. My girls was out of breath. And he said, "Lady, it's okay, we can wait 1 minute so that you take your breath. We are going to take you to your destination." And we entered the bus. My nieces couldn't believe it. They sat on the bus, relaxed, because finally they are going to meet Harry Potter and they will see all the wizards' place there. We reached to the destination. They again, as in the museums, as every attraction place, they moved from one place to another and I have to catch them. When you have 4, so you have to divide yourself. Fellow Toastmaster, when I planned this trip, I planned it as a fun day, fun time with my nieces, but it turned to be unforgettable memory. Every time we watch Harry Potter, they will laugh at me and say, "Oh, auntie, you remember when we ran after you?" You too, fellow Toastmaster. Go back in your memory and think what unforgettable memory you had with your loved one. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Thuraya, for that wonderful speech. And apologies for the internet disconnection. And thank you for all the supportive comments from the speakers and evaluators that was sent to me. Moving on, our next speaker is Toastmaster. Distinguished Toastmaster, our next speaker is Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi. He will be evaluated by Toastmaster Siham Abdul Qadir. She's an English teacher by profession, works at the Ministry of Education, a Toastmaster since 2016, and she is a member of 7 clubs. She led different positions as a Toastmaster, chartered 2 clubs, and currently is the Division H Director. Toastmaster Siham, please explain Toastmaster Abdullah's speech objective.
Thank you so much, MC, for the warm introduction. Good evening, everyone. Today, TM Abdullah is embarking on his first path, Dynamic Leadership, Level 3, Project 3, Planning and Implementing. The objectives are the member practices to develop a plan and bringing this plan to fruition, sharing some aspect of planning and implement on his or her small-scale project. The title of the project or of the speech is the National Day of Kingdom of Bahrain. Time will be from 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, MC.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Siham. Now, Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi is working in IT in Babco and with Toastmaster for over 5 years now. He is speaking from the path Leadership Development, Level 3, Planning and Implementing. Speech title, National Day of Kingdom of Bahrain. National Day of Kingdom of Bahrain. To Abdullah Hijazi, over to you.
It have been said, be careful what you wish for, because you may get it. Toastmaster of the evening and guests, good evening. My story started when I was speaking with my friend and telling him I wish to be a PR for a part of the XCOM as a PR leader in my mother club. And in the election day, I was selected as a PR leadership in my first XCOM experience. I was very frightened. What I cannot do. Wishing is a horrible thing. It's a negative. I will not wish anymore in my entire life. So I started to calm down and ask my friend. He told me, you have to make a team. So I went to my trusted friends and tell them, please, I want your help. And they replied and helped me a lot. One of the projects that was a challenge for me as a PR in this year was conducting the National Day of Bahrain, celebrating the National Day of Bahrain. The XCOM announced before 2 weeks of the National Day that the management will attend the ceremony. So I went to my team again and tell them we have a plan. Our objectives will be to make it interesting, full of music, and to show how to make the management continue supporting us as a club. So we sat together in the first meeting and divided the tasks. One task is and conducting the ideals. By the way, DTM Khalid was one of the team members. He was in his first year in Toastmasters. So I was responsible of making the video and collecting the picture of the meetings and the music. The other member was we had an idea to make like a exhibition of the pictures. Exhibition and put the ceremony, every member what he achieved as trophies, as and we have a lot, and one member have another member have a responsibility of the giveaways and the things that we will give as a souvenir for other members and the management. The challenge, the most challenge that I experienced at the time, and the corporate, I was not sure if my team will do it in this little time of period, a very little time period. So we sat, and one of our meeting we sat in Starbucks, if you remember, Khalid. and every member was cutting the frame of the pictures, and I was working with the videos, and we were working together in a harmony. And unfortunately, there was another challenge that one of the members was sick and not able to participate properly in the team. So I was pushing him until he, before 2 days, he came with us and helped us in preparing. In the team and the National Day ceremony, I was first one to attend the meeting, preparing the video, preparing everything, and we stick all the papers. We didn't went all the team, then went to home. And it was a very successful project and very successful, and it went very good. The things I learned from it: first, you have to trust yourself. Second, trust your team, because teamwork always works. Third, and the most important thing, don't be afraid of wishing anything. Wishing is good, but you have to have a trusted team and to work hard towards your plan and goals. That's my message. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abdullah. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 amazing speeches are done, and now 3 yet to go. Our next speaker is distinguished Toastmaster Petra, and to evaluate her is Toastmaster Samia Khan. Toastmaster Samia is a dietitian and sports nutritionist by profession. She worked with Sports Authority of India, Toastmaster by passion, current VP PR of Prudent Family Toastmasters, Dammam, Saudi Arabia. She's the public relation manager of the PQD team, sports enthusiast with special interest in athletes, badminton, and basketball. She has a passion for graphic designing, reading books, and coffee. Toastmaster Samia, please explain the speaker's objectives. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, DTM Petra will be presenting her Level 3 Elective 1 project from the Pathway Presentation Mastery. The purpose of her project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. The title of her speech is The Mirror of Choice, and her timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Samia. Our speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Petra Shardul, joined Toastmaster in Thailand in 2001. She led by example by becoming the first woman distinguished Toastmaster in Thailand in 2003, and by winning the district table topic contest in 2001 and receiving Presidential Citation Award in 2016. She's speaking. Speech title is The Mirror of Choice. The Mirror of Choice, Toastmaster Petra, over to you. Toastmaster Petra.
I'm ready.
Great. The floor is yours.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me who is the fairest of them all? And the mirror says, it's your sister. No, Madam Toastmaster brothers and sisters, have you ever felt disappointed with your look like I did? Nobody? Oh, some of you, thank you. It happened to me when I was 10 and my sister was 17. She was tall, shapely, and a beauty contest winner. At 10, I was short, chubby, and I almost won an ugly contest. I tried so hard to look like her. I tried on her clothes, high heel shoes, and lipstick, but I couldn't look like her. My dear father saw the agony in me, and he thought if he didn't help me, I would remain jealous, bitter, and a loser all my life. My father chose to tell me a little folk tale, and that folk tale helped me change the way I look at the mirror of life. Like all stories, it began with once, help me, upon a time. Thank you. That was the little mouse who always wanted to be someone else. Since her body was so tiny and weak, she wanted to be someone strong. One day, she said to the sun, "The sun, you must be the strongest of them all, and I want to be you." Brothers and sisters, you think the sun is the strongest? And the sun said, "No, I'm not the strongest. Look, when the cloud rolls by, I cannot shine." Oh, gee, I never thought of that. Then Uncle Cloud, I want to be you. And the cloud said, "Little kid, oh sure, I can overshadow the sun, but when the wind blows, I too will have to go away." Oh gee, then Madam Wind, I want to be you. And the wind said, "Think again. Sure, I can blow away the cloud, but I cannot blow through this wooden wall." The mouse got frustrated. How come every time I thought someone was the strongest, someone else was always stronger? This time it must be the wall, and I want to be you. And the wall said, "Hey, little kid, do you really want to know who the strongest of them all is?" Yes, yes, I do. It's you. You can use your sharp, tiny teeth to gnaw through me so you can wander freely in and out. Don't you know it? You are the strongest of them all, you silly mouse. Me? The strongest of them all? Yeah, actually I am. I just forgot to look at my own strength. My brothers and sisters, have you forgotten to look at your own strength sometimes? Sadly, many people forget. That's why blind people with disability keep living on handout. What about Helen Keller? She's deaf, mute, and sightless, but she didn't forget to look at her own strength. She became a famous writer and motivational speaker. And I can relate only a little bit. At the age of 53, I joined Toastmasters. 1 week after joining, I entered table topics contest. 2 months later, I became District 51 table topics champion, competing among 11 contestants from 7 countries. Before the contest, I could have looked at the wrong side of the mirror, and I could have told myself, "Hey, Petra, how could you win? You're too old. How could you win? You had too little training." But instead, I turned the mirror around and I found a winner, a good storyteller in me. Do you still remember the little folk tale that my father told me? Before the story, I was just like that little mouse, always busy, miserable, comparing my own weaknesses to other people's strengths. What for? After that story, I have changed. I started to look at my own strengths, and I have changed from being jealous to being happy with my sister, from being bitter to being better, from being a loser to being a winner. What about you? Don't you want to be happy, better, and a winner? That's the secret. The secret is the mirror is not on the wall. The mirror is in the power of your hand. And the mirror is called the mirror of your choice. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Petra, for that inspiring speech. Now, our 8th speaker is distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi. He will be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Krishanti Emmanuel. Distinguished Toastmaster Krishanti has been a Toastmaster since 2001. She's a member and a past president of Colombo Toastmasters Club, the first Toastmasters Club in South Asia, and also a member and the charter president of Pinnacle Advanced Toastmaster Club, the first advanced Toastmasters Club in the country. She is also one of the first area governors of District 82. She held officers at area division and district level, rising to deputy and governor education and training. By profession, she's a chartered governance professional, a fellow member of both UK and Sri Lanka associations, and she's now retiring. Distinguished Toastmaster Krishanti, please explain the speaker's objectives. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi is going to speak to us from the Pathway Presentation Mastery. And his project was about leading in a volunteer organization. He has actually done that. He's successfully led in a volunteer organization as per this project. And the purpose of this speech is for him to share with us some aspect of his experience serving as a leader in that volunteer organization. The time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes, and I will leave it to the Toastmaster to introduce his topic. Back to you, Madam.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Krishanti. Now, distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi is a servant leader, has a passion to develop youth leaders, member of 8 clubs, had held area division leadership roles. He's the first District 79 Secretary, Administrator by profession, and he's currently President of SCC Toastmasters, Vice President Education of Div Debate Club, and Chairman of Bahrain Gavel Club Council. Distinguished Toastmaster. He's speaking from his path, Level 5 elective, leading in a volunteer organization. Speech title, Lead, Let Others Lead. Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi, I advise you to remove your virtual background while speaking. Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi, Lead, Let Others Lead. Over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, but if you can remove your virtual background, it will be better because you're not fully visible.
Am I okay?
Did you pin the timer?
I can see the timer, yes.
Okay, great. So lead, let others lead. Over to you.
Be different, act normal. This philosophy I learned during my leadership term recently. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and most distinguished guests, good evening to you all. In my Toastmasters journey for the last 24 plus years, I have acted as leader by being assigned as a leader for area governor, division governor, district officer, etc., and club officers, etc. At that particular time, that changes which brought me from the communication level to the leadership level did not make me to realize how important it is to recognize, to respect, to reward, and to receive. All these things I learned very recently when I took up the challenge of area director position last. That was the most difficult period, I would say, in my leadership journey, that I experienced a lot of challenges. It's no one wants to take up this area leadership when this position became vacant for the term 2020-2021. Not a single leader wants to take it up because the main reason was the pandemic, the virtual life of Toastmasters. Area 3, which was my area at the time, very first time, 2002-2003, when I took up leadership for area, same area, and my home club was in the same area. And this time in area 3, the same club was there. So I did not want my area to suffer without a leader. I volunteered to become the area director, although my experience in various other leadership led to so many other things. During this period only I learned that if a candle lights its another candle, it doesn't lose any of its lights. The quote really fitted me. A candle light loses nothing if it lights another candle. Why I say this? Because in this leadership journey in 2021, I realized the members group, the leaders group, how we should perform, how we should respect, how we should recognize, and how we should reincorporate the member group into the leadership. The challenges I faced with the area ExCom members, area council members, conducting an area council meeting was a greater challenge. Inviting the club officers for a council meeting was a challenge. But I managed to convince, and I am really proud that my area council meetings were 100% attendance without any problems. That was the challenge I took up, that I made that leading by example. To lead and let others lead was my motto in that term, not to do anything on my own. I learned how we can motivate, inspire, and also encourage member groups to become leader group by helping each other. The collaboration, the cooperation, the commitment, most importantly, was the key role players in this leadership role which I took. The Area 3 contest, I would like to mention, without the help from some members who came forward, the member group, who are not having any leadership roles, but the charismatic approach really helped to bring in new members. And the Area 3 contest was a challenging factor to create new leaders. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, when it came to the end of the term, I had competition for the leadership role to the Area 3 director role. I had competitive nominees from the group itself. And that was the challenge that I took over at the time of leading as a leader in the volunteer organization. It was not easy. It is not a platter just given without any difficulties. It was not a bed of roses. It was a tough time. And it was a tough challenge. Conducting virtual contests and conducting virtual meetings was a greater challenge which we overcame through the support of members and through the volunteer leaders who came forward to give. The 360-degree evaluation, which I received from the 4 top members of the 4 clubs, was a masterpiece, I would say. There was nothing negative which was mentioned in all the 4 reports. And I am amazed because all the 4 gave the evaluation in the same category, in the same marks and same ranking. That was really amazing. To bring in such an evaluation, I was gifted to have a group of leaders from the member group from whom I chose. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be a leader, letting others to lead and leading by example. So my advice to you all is, be different, but always act normal. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you to the distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi for that wonderful speech about leadership. Our next and final speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah, and his evaluator is distinguished Toastmaster Arshad Nizam. Distinguished Toastmaster Arshad is an advertising and marketing professional. He's the former area director and assistant public relation manager of District 82, past president of Watala Toastmasters Club and charter president of Central Colombo Toastmasters Club. Currently, he is the president of Innovative Minds Toastmasters, Specialty Club of District 82. Distinguished Toastmaster Arshad, please explain the speakers objectives. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, Toastmaster Nuha. It's my privilege to evaluate the Program Quality Director of District 20, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. DTM Khalid is attempting a level 5 project. This is a mandatory project which is demonstrating the expertise, and he is doing the project which is lead in any situation. Time given is 8 to 10 minutes. Let me articulate the purpose of the project for the benefit of all the members present. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply the skills needed to successfully lead a volunteer organization. The purpose is also for the member to share his experience on the impact of the 360 evaluation. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be listening to a club growth director's experience. With that note, I hand over controls to Toastmaster Nuha. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Now it's an honor to bring to the lectern Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. His introduction has been done earlier. So he is speaking from the Path Dynamic Leadership Level 5, Lead in Any Situation. And speech title is CGD Reflection. CGD Reflection, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah, over to you.
Life is only a reflection, what we allow ourselves to see. Madam Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, and esteemed guests, good evening to all of you. Today, I thought of sharing with you some reflection, some of my journey as a Club Growth Director. And before I move on to that, the objective of this project is to introduce this great model, which is Blanchard Situation Analysis. Let me take some time to explain the stages of Blanchard Situation Analysis. There are 4 areas where each one of us, during our learning, go through. The first area, when we first join into any place where we need to have someone to direct us on what we need to do, and that's where directing comes in. Next stage is coaching. When we know now little things about what we do, but we need to have still support from others to push us beyond our own potential. Third is supporting. When we are competent enough to do what we need to do, but again, we need to have as well someone from time to time support us. And then the last one, delegating, when you exactly know what you need to do and you are self-motivated to carry on what you can do. So this is in simple terms, the Blanchard Situation Analysis. And that's what we need to use as leaders in any situation that we need to go or take on our shoulders. So let me go through the lessons that I learned as a Club Growth Director and show you some aspects of how I use the situational analysis in my own leadership. First lesson that I learned was no one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play it. And this is the team behind the scene that I'm really proud of. And as you can see as well, one of them was our president, DTM Farhaz Farouk. When I started my journey as Club Growth Director, I set the plan, I had the vision, but then I cannot do it alone. It takes a team to move forward. So I went and chose the best fit for that purpose of the marketing team of the Club Growth. Some of them, of course, were new. And just to have one of them was Toastmaster Sana Fatima. Toastmaster Sana Fatima was totally new. She was just 1 year in her Toastmaster even less than 1 year. But she was so energetic. So among all of the faces that you can see, she was relatively new to all of them. So my leadership style with her was a little bit of directing. I needed to direct her on what she has to do. But all of the other 4 or all of the other 5, I delegated most of the work to them. So that was the first attempt for me to use my situational leadership. Be a reflection of what you would like to see in others. Being a club growth director, one of the roles as a club growth director is to assign coaches. And same time last year, I was looking at the dashboard and I noticed that one club had only 9 renewals. So I called the vice president, immediate past president to be specific, because I know her, DTM Sandy Stein. When I spoke to her, I said, DTM Sandy, what is happening? I see only 9 members in there. She said, DTM Khalid, if we don't have any help from anywhere, I think the club would just close. So as a club growth director, first thing that came to my mind, okay, let me just assign a coach to this club, because that's what you need to do as a club growth director. By using, again, that blank chart graph, I knew that this club has what it takes from members. But what it needs is just that inspiration. So I thought, let me be that inspiration. And instead of assigning a coach from outside, let me be that reflection that I want to see in others. And that's what I did. And thanks to my co-coach or my colleagues as well, DTM Hisham, we jumped in and being the club coaches for Active Minds Toastmasters Club. And if history repeats itself, I would really just do that again. Now the club is enjoying 29 members, and the club was as well being president distinguished. And thanks to my co-coach, DTM Hisham Jeffrey. The joy of leadership comes from seeing others achieve more than they thought they were capable of, by Simon Sinek. As Toastmasters, before being a club growth director, as Toastmasters, when we join Toastmasters, the first thing we think of is improving ourselves. But after a period of time, the joy of being a Toastmasters is to spread that joy of leadership to others. And that's what I did under the umbrella of the club growth director. I had many open houses. I tried, especially during difficult time, I tried to spread inspiration for others and try to remind them that we Toastmasters are the leaders of the hour. And that's one of the open houses between all of the Filipino clubs that we have in district. We had 6. And that's where you can see that all of them collaborated and had an open house with the collaboration of the embassy. The second photo was another open house for medical fraternity. I had that as an HPL myself, and I thought, let me just do that. And in those, of course, moments, I was also using my directive skills as a leader in that situation. You need to be directive as well to introduce the Toastmasters for newcomer, but at the same time, you need to be supportive for those Toastmasters who have what it takes. It's just that they've been going through difficult times, that they need just that inspiration for them to enable them to do what they can obviously do. Remember, it's the journey, not the destination. When I first took over as a club growth director, I had one target. I wanted to see District 20 as at least distinguished. But down the line, when I started to reflect on my journey, I noticed that I had so many experiences worth sharing. One of them is the first corporate summit in District 20. And I'm so proud that we had DTM Pat Johnson, past international president, and joined all of the corporate clubs under one roof, under one virtual roof for the first time. And that was a marvelous experience. For those who knows me very well, this is not the first time that I've been as a sergeant at arm. But that's again, leadership in any situation. You need to be supportive for your own members, regardless of whichever titles that we have. And I really adore being a sergeant at arm in almost all of the contests in District 20. And that's again another club that we tried to charter as well, Bahrain Debaters Toastmasters Club. And as you can see as well, DTM or Toastmaster Rashid as well with me. Unfortunately, the flyer is not as visible. So we were also enjoying the transformation as leaders in District 20. Peace begins when expectation ends. It was really tough time, especially during the last 2 months. The numbers are not really at all matching. But that's where the situational analysis did not work as it's supposed to be. That's where I had to go back to my internal leadership. And remember, it's all about the members and it's not at all about the numbers. And that's where the journey ended as a club growth director. When I started, I was looking at that end line, but the finish line is not definitely the end. I'm proud, of course, to start this journey all over again as a program quality director. My message to you, what reflection of your leadership that you need to do, be it a club growth director, be it president, be it a member, be it a Toastmasters, that's something you need to think of today, not tomorrow. Thank you so much. And back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. Is a true example of in leadership, how to walk the talk, and from one leadership position to another, from CGD to PQD, he continues to serve District 20 with great enthusiasm. And now we have made it to the heart of Toastmasters meeting, the evaluations. And let me start with calling our timer, who have been working diligently during the session to time each and every speech with the timer's report. Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Qadir.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. The time taken, before I read out the time taken, I would just like to request, because of technical glitches, I have taken the courtesy of allowing 10 seconds more as grace period for most of the speakers because of the technical. Is that okay, Mr. President, with you? So I'll read the time
right,
taken by. Okay.
It's a festival of speeches, so that's perfectly all right.
Thank you, sir. So the first speaker, DTM Farhas Farooq, took 6 minutes 24 seconds within time. Then our next speaker, Pitambaram Nair, took 6 minutes 39 seconds. And then Toastmasters DTM Zahra Boharrak took 7 minutes 29 minutes. Then Toastmaster Deepak Narwade took 6 minutes 53 seconds. And DTM Thuraya Joma took 7 minutes 35 seconds. And Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi took 6 minutes 56 seconds. DTM Petra took 7 minutes 35 seconds. DTM Ahmad Rizvi took 7 minutes 4 seconds. And DTM Khalid Abdullah took 10 minutes 27 seconds. With the extra, I would recommend that they are qualified to be in the polls. Thank you, Mr. President. Master of Ceremonies. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Farooq, for that detailed report. And now we will go directly to the evaluation. Yes, Toastmaster Widad, I see that you are raising your hand.
Yes, excuse me, Madam MC, I just want to the timer, Mr. Farooq, to repeat for us the time for the 8th evaluator, Mr. DTM Rizvi.
The time is 7 minutes 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
4 seconds. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and since the introduction of the evaluators has already been done, so I will be calling the evaluators one after another to save time.
Madam Master of Ceremony, if I may,
Yes.
point of order, can we launch the poll first before we introduce the evaluators? If Mr. President allows it.
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pikili.
Okay, so I will call our also Zoom Master, Toastmaster Farouk Kader, if the poll is ready. Please cast your vote.
The poll is shared, please.
Great. Please, ladies and gentlemen, cast your votes to the best speakers from today's wonderful, fantastic 9 speakers. Just Master Farouk, please let me know if the poll is over.
6 more to go. Or 75% already. Let's give it another 15 seconds. Done. Over to you.
Thank you to the distinguished Toastmaster Khalid. Now I will call the first evaluator for the speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz Farouk. His evaluator is soon to be DTM, Toastmaster Rana Al-Mannai. Over to you.
Good evening and good afternoon and good morning once again. As I said before and from you all, I am the evaluator for DTM Farhaz Farouk's speech, not for himself. I told him even by message, I would be evaluating you as I didn't know you before. So it looked like I met you for the first time to judge you. So in the beginning, I like your speech very much and well done. And congratulations for delivering your icebreaker. For the icebreaker. I like your language, your style, the stories that you brought, and all the accident or all the action that you brought and involve your parents, the play, all the steps that it happened to you in different stages, from when you are young until you get married and so on. You started with your play in the school, you started with the also in different way. Which this is what I like you went through the beginning, conclusion, the body language, it was perfect. Overall, it was a great speech. And only just I wish that something that you focus on your background, because when you were talking, some of your background disturbing. This is what I wish, that you don't use your background, the visual background. Also, I wish that you were standing up and moving. I like that you were more, you had some action by your hands and facial visual, but I wish that you were standing up and moving, and because you had like conversations between your parents and friends, and especially some action with the girls. So I wish that you were involving standing up to be more nicer. And in the end, I like the song that you sing it. And now I want to congratulate you again. I wish to hear you more speeches from you. And back to you, Madam MC.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rana Al-Mannai. Now I call Toastmaster Omar Farouk Awan to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Bitamra Al-Nair. Toastmaster Omar, I advise you to pin the timer. Over to you.
The timer is in Bahrain. I cannot pin him. Just kidding. Okay, just kidding. Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Toastmaster Pidambaran, what have you done? What have you done? Your speech scared the hell out of me. I was thinking when you were talking about real life partner, I was thinking about you will be talking about your wife. Then you started talking about the body and we should take care of it. We are not taking care of it. We should be very careful. That was a nice twist. You involve the audience with your question. Who is your real life partner? Some may be thinking about their wife, something. You yourself, your body. I loved it. You immediately hooked the audience with your question. That is one of the most powerful ways of opening the speech. Secondly, I loved the enthusiasm, the passion that you had in your speech. You were feeling every word that you were saying, and we could feel it also. Connecting to the audience to inner level. Wonderfully done. Another thing that I loved about your speech was you incorporated your own kid's story. That how he suffered and how he was able to recover. Wonderfully said. Because your own story connects more than maybe you are telling other stories or any fictitious story. We could relate to it. Another thing that I loved about your speech, the call back at the end, call to action, and you started off with the question, who is your real life partner? And you ended it with that also. Connecting the two, opening and the conclusion. I love that thing. Circling back. That is a very good technique. But there is a room in which you can grow. Do you know what that room is? It's called room for improvement. Let's put you in that room and help you grow. One thing I noticed, when you are having dialogue with the doctor, your kid and your wife, when the character changes, vocal should change also. Your vocal variety should be evident at how you are talking. There are different characters. Secondly, when you are seeing when your hand gestures, you are doing the hand gestures, keep a distance from the camera. Okay, we can see your hands freely and move. So if you were keeping the distance from the camera, you can easily see your gestures. Thirdly, what I want to have a controlled, meaningful movement, dividing when you're starting, closing, because your camera range is your speaking area. So divide your speech in like, don't make to move too much. So overall, an excellent speech, Toastmaster Pidambaran. And I love your energy, your passion, and how you questioned us, and deep thought-provoking question that you put in the middle also. Work on your correct vocal variety, also the stage movement, and keep a distance from the camera. And I am sure you will become an excellent speaker. I will look forward to seeing you on the district final stage also, competing at the highest level. Over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Omar, for that wonderful evaluation. Now I call to the lectern distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Deepak. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, and esteemed guests. Good evening to all of you. Toastmaster Deepak, what an amazing speech. I really enjoyed all of the speech. I was smiling all over, and I even saw the smiles in everyone's faces. Thank you so much for marvelous speech. Let me tell you things that, well, there are so many points that I really liked, as you can see from my sheet itself, and then maybe I'll just end up with few areas of improvement. What I liked, when I said that you were standing like a tiger to jump into your speech, I really meant it. The confidence in you standing and delivering your speech was really eminent. Whatever your mind conceived, you can achieve. You started with a quote, and that was really a great catchphrase for everyone to know what you are going to say. What I loved, adored the most, your simplicity, and at the same time, you were like poet. You were the poetry, 7, heaven, and 11. Air filled with happiness, the choice of words, chilled with the music, That was the party, the description of your party. So that's really what I liked. And what I liked as well more when you said, okay, you left us as well thinking, what is the link between the description of your party and the rest of your story? So that also kept us saying, okay, when he's going to come back and tell us about the party, well done. Use of the camera, you used the camera, you came in and whispered to us. This is something really advanced, and not many of us were still thinking in physical, but you really grabbed that as well, the chance of using the stage. Conductor, radio repairer, gangster, engineer, public speaker. You went through all of them nicely with each one of them having an anecdote. And I liked as well what you were saying, not perfectly so perfect all of the time until you came to the Toastmasters where it is the perfect choice for you. The humor, the broken radio, I would love to see that broken radio all over. So there were lots of really amazing parts of your speech. And I think this speech would really, you can take the speech into a championship speak if you remember those 3 suggestions. The first one, try to remove the virtual background because it was a little bit distracting us from looking at your great body gestures. Involve the audience perfectly, not so perfect. I think if you involve us as well in saying the same thing, and you could have used this as well as another title. The last but definitely not the least, we all were attached to the party. You went back to the party, but if you went back with describing the same party scenes again and linking your description at the beginning of your speech with the ending, that would wrap us very more. Key to successful life is education. Key to successful speaker is Toastmasters, and key to successful Toastmasters is Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. And that's your conclusion. Wonderful speech. Thank you so much. And over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid, for that amazing evaluation. And now I call distinguished Toastmaster Zaid Naushad to evaluate the speech of distinguished Toastmaster Zahra Al-Farak. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Master of the Ceremony. DTM Zahra. Yes, she's there. 7 minutes, 29 seconds on the dot. Thank you very much for enlightening us on how effective, convenient, and time-saving online teaching can be. A person married to a teacher myself, I could really connect through the hassle of what you spoke with a personal experience, because I saw how my wife was struggling to transform from that traditional to virtual environment as a teacher. Now, out of many things in your speech, good things that I can evaluate all day, I chose 3 things to share with you. Number 1 is the structure of your speech. I loved how you started with that powerful opening mentioning that 94 million people are teachers. That moment I connected with a wow factor. I wanted to listen to your speech. The technique what you used was that your entire personal experience, you converted into the content and by giving us so many facts about online teaching, and you came to a conclusion and ended your speech with a quote by Robin Sharma about change, a powerful quote. I loved how you structured in that way. Number 2, you shared your personal experience here throughout the content. Now that was a plus point for you because you yourself is a teacher, and how your experience helped you by sharing it, you built a credible content, because I tend to believe in what you said. That was powerful for a research presentation. And the final point I wanted to mention here is about your gestures, body language, and vocal variety as a package was excellent. Why I say so? When you showed us 94, 3 points, talking, walking, speaking, I saw your gestures were very powerful. The dialogue between mom and principal, the expression and body language was great, including vocal variety at that point. You standing and delivering the speech helped you to segregate your stage. I think body language as a package, facial expressions, gestures, and full body movement, you mastered it. Let me give you one just a teeny tiny thought-provoking recommendation in terms of research project. Now, the same personal experience which I said a strong point had a little bit of a drawback in your speech, in my personal opinion. Why I say so was you had a problem about online teaching. Very good. The problem was backed up with facts and sources, where you gave two sources that gave that supported the problem, but solution you were very general, I thought, because you said we can do you brought in a lot of elements about how you can solve. In case if you had used a specific example, saying at this situation, when I was conducting a particular occasion, if you can give us, that will add more credibility, because for me, it was your opinion rather than a tested or proven method backed by facts. So in summation, what I would like to say is that the structure of your informative research speech with personal experience added a lot of credibility. The gestures, body language, vocal variety as a whole added value to your presentation. And if you could provide tested and proven specific solutions with credible sources, I thought maybe the cycle would be completed, and I wish you good luck for many more speeches to come. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies. Over to you.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Zaid, for that constructive evaluation. Moving on, our next evaluator is Toastmaster Widad Hijazi to evaluate distinguished Toastmasters Thuraya Juma's speech. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremony. Good evening, everyone. Again, good afternoon to each and every one of you. Let me pin the timer first, and then first of all, I would like to thank distinguished Toastmaster Thuraya for the active, adventurous, fresh, and cheerful speech she presented. From the title, the very beginning till the end of her speech, she could present fully the purpose of her speech, the intentional and unintentional body language. She used them fully, properly, starting with the language. Her language was very clear, easily understood. Her voice tonality was very, there was a variety of tonality with every content. She benefited well from eye contact. We can say that from the very beginning, she grabbed our attention by asking a question. She came to the camera, she gave us eye contact, and she asked a question. Then she used the hand gestures and hand movements fully, purposefully, and intentionally when starting talking about the age of the guests, the kids moving right and left, or left and right, it depends on how you see me, and the places they visited first. She engaged all of us physically with her gestures, and like we were watching a movie, like the title is Running After the Hogwarts Express. This title deserves to be a title of a movie in Hollywood or Bollywood. So what she presented, like she took us in a journey of an adult taking kids in an adventurous journey in London. So she fully expressed gestures, movements, words, and all these in her style. She used toys and cards, and this gave more and more authenticity and more attraction and constructed her story very well. Well, things that I believe would have been more and more things to work on is that when she was waiting with the kids and they saw the advertisement for Harry Potter's place, this would have expressed the cheerfulness and the happiness. Wow, Harry Potter, we want to go there. Let me take us, auntie. So you can use these gestures more and more, body language intentionally, and you can express. Plus, you can, when things you can also challenge yourself when the person told you, you have 2 feet, you can get the bus. It's only the street behind us. So you can use these gestures, and you can use it when you said, when you arrived at the first wrong place, there was only 1 tourist. That's why you said you should be amazed, frustrated, and shocked. There was not even a single tourist. And that's all for you. I wish you all the best. And I believe this can be written as a short story for the kids to enjoy with some stories. Back to you, Master of Ceremony. That's all.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vidal, for that wonderful evaluation. Next, I call Toastmaster Siham Abdul Qadir to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi. I advise you to pin the timer. Over to you, Toastmaster Siham.
Good evening once again, MC and fellow Toastmaster. Today, I'm going to evaluate TM Muhammad Hijazi, not for himself, but for the performance. Don't you agree that he starts his speech with a very beautiful quote? Be careful of what you wish for. That was a good start, to start by warning. Actually, I'm going to divide my evaluation, sorry. I'm going to divide my evaluation into 3 pillars. The first will be the introduction, second will be the objectives or the content, and third will be the message or the conclusion. I will start with the introduction. As I said, it was a good beginning by starting with a warning to drag the attention. Then I liked when you were talking about what you wish for, and it became true. That's your hope to be a PR, and you really became a PR. Then I am going to talk about the objectives, and you met your objectives. If we can say that the objective was to share the planning and implementing planning in your project, and this is what you did. You took us through the story of having the mission to be, or to make the PR for the National Day, and you give us the idea of how to plan, how to consult or discuss with the team, how to give tasks, and you did it very well. We see how to plan for a project. And also you shared with us how could you give this or take this support and help from your team. The team spirit was fantastic. I liked when you give emotion to your speech. You were emotionally talking. You really expressed that you are worried, that you are scared, that you don't know what to do. That's what fantastic. I liked your voice modulation. It was very well practiced and presented during the speech. So for the objectives, you met it very well. For the content, I will talk a little bit about it. For the message, I liked your message when you said, wish for whatever you like, or you were encouraging to do the opposite of the beginning that you start. I liked when you said that my message is to wish for what you are going to do, or apply for whatever you wish. Now, we have some or few areas of improvement. The first one is that you were playing with your hands, expressing nervousness. I felt it that way. I don't know if you did it deliberately or you really were nervous. Why? You shouldn't be. You were so confident when you were talking. So try to rehearse some more. That will give you more confidence in order not to show this nervousness. Also, I would like to play more in your introduction, to give a question, to make people more involved. Of course, there was a smart movement of you to make audience involvement. Whenever you mention DTM Khalid Abdullah in the speech, You made us all attentive to see what you are going to say. So it was a smart move. All in all, try to focus on the introduction and a little bit on the content and give a strong message. Thank you, and over to you, MC.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Siham. And now let me call our next evaluator, Toastmaster Samia Khan, to evaluate DTM Petra's speech. Over to you.
Thank you. When talking about storytelling, we imagine friends and family gathered around a campfire, enveloped in the night sky, or a mother sitting on the edge of the bed with a book while stroking our hair. Respected Toastmasters, good evening. But today, it was neither of them. Today, it was DTM Petra who brought that atmosphere into the meeting. From the very beginning, you were able to captivate our attention with humor and left the audience with a moral and something to think back upon. People forget to look at their strengths. You also gave personal examples before and after the story of how you were insecure of your tall, shapely, and beauty contest winner sister at the age of 10, to how you won a table topic contest within a few months of joining Toastmasters. I will not be shocked if you become the next world champion speaker. Just saying. Your story was intriguing with the conversation of a mouse with sun, cloud, wind, and wall. You used prop and placed the characters well and showed appropriate voice modulations based on the characters, which added value. You also portrayed good storyteller and narrative skills, which took me back to my campfire days. You approached the topic well and fulfilled the objective while also portraying good hand gestures, and I was really glad to see you stand up while presenting. It was very, very difficult to find a setback in your speech, and trust me, I really tried hard. But I just have one recommendation to leave you with. You started suddenly after your name was called upon. So it didn't give the audience time to register. It didn't give us time to sink in who the next speaker was. And even I wanted you also to take some more time to get your stage ready and your presence known. With this assiduous talent of public speaking, which we all have seen that you possess, and the recommendation that I've drawn, I'm sure your next speech will set the benchmark much, much higher. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most confident of them all? DTM Petra. Back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Toastmaster Samia, for that amazing evaluation. Next, I call to distinguished Toastmaster Krishanti Emmanuel to evaluate the speech of distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Rizvi. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Krishanti.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed. Let me tell you the things that I enjoyed most about your speech. Let me begin with that. I liked the fact that you began with the quote, "Be different, act normal." And then at the end of your speech, you brought that same quote back in again. So it was a nice way that you went full circle, and that gave a sense of completeness to that. You brought it right back to that same point again. I loved your use of rhetorical devices. For instance, recognize, respect, reward, and receive. And then later on, you had collaboration, cooperation, commitment. That was beautiful. I loved that use of language. And I also admired your confidence. You seemed very sure of yourself, very comfortable with the audience. So those were the things that I really liked about your speech. Now, I'm sure that as a distinguished Toastmaster over the course of your career, either in the legacy program or on Pathways, you must have heard a lot of really good things about how you speak, about the content and the delivery. So I will move maybe to some of the things that perhaps I could ask you to look at to see whether you can take it even better. The first thing I would suggest that you work on is to be sure of your message, your core message, and then punch it out. I heard several messages coming through your speech. You achieved things because of member support. There was members without a leadership title came forward and helped you achieve things. I heard a lot of different strands of thought, but I wasn't very clear about what your central message was. And the title was Lead, Let Others Lead. And that seemed to be, it's about empowering or delegating. And you did talk about a candle doesn't lose anything by lighting other candles. But again, I didn't hear anything very concretely coming through. So I would suggest once you have your core message, make sure that everything helps you to just punch that out. Secondly, I would recommend that to support you with that you pay attention to structure. For instance, you spoke of many challenges, but you never really came around to telling us what they were and how you overcame them. The fact that you did, I think, is fairly obvious in the speech, but we didn't get the benefit of your experience by finding out what you did and how you did. You said, for instance, nobody wanted to come forward to take up leadership. We didn't really know why. You said nobody wanted to attend area meetings. Again, we weren't sure what the problem was. So there again, I think if you had maybe picked one area, was it demotivation? Was it lack of leadership? What was the core issue that you saw and talked about that? We might have been able to hold on to that. And linked with that, I would suggest that you keep the objective in mind when crafting your speech. If you remember from your purpose statement, you're supposed to share some aspect of your experience in this leadership role. And there again, I know you spoke about challenges, but I didn't feel like I heard anything particular in mind about what exactly you learned. I know all of us who I've listened to the introductions of some of your members, and you've all held office at very high levels, and you will realize that when you're dealing in a volunteer organization, you can't hire and fire, you can't coerce, there is no performance appraisal. So you really have to rely on things like inspiration, motivation, that kind of thing. So I would have loved to have heard those things from you, how you did those things and how you got those people to do what you had to do. In terms of challenging yourself, I would suggest two things. The first is, though you have lovely command of the language, you fell back on cliches in a couple of places, like bed of roses, given on a platter. And I would suggest watch that, because you don't need that. You have a good enough vocabulary without that. And secondly, I'm not very sure what your profession is, but there were places where I felt you were falling back on somewhat of a lecturing tone. And that was reinforced by the fact that there were times when your hands went to this clasped position, which may be your comfort zone, but I would suggest don't do that, because it sends that signal that you're separating yourself from the audience. So I would recommend against that. So in summation, good use of language, very confident, really you can really optimize those. Work on being very sure of your core message, punching it out, and making sure your structure and your objectives all help to align with all of that. And sell yourself. You've got enough of yourself to sell out there. Don't fall back on cliches or tired things like that. And we look forward to, I'm sure you'll be delighting the members with lots of wonderful speeches going forward. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Krishanti, for that constructive evaluation. Now I call our last evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Arshad Nizam, to evaluate the speech of distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nuha. It's indeed a privilege to evaluate a club growth director's reflection, because this club growth director, the former club growth director, did not make it very serious. There was 10 plus clubs that were supposed to get closed. There were 50 plus clubs that were opened. No serious jargon. It was such a delight to listen to you, DTM Khalid. Being an immediate past area director of District 82, I understand the battle and the challenges that any club growth director would go. If you ask me, hands down, I would say being the CGD is the toughest trio role, and that's why you start with that. So when you become the district director, it becomes more easier. DTM Khalid, in my opinion, the key strengths in your speech was inspiring the audience. You inspired the entire audience with your experiences that you went through. In your complete speech, you had 4 areas. The entire speech had leadership, the reflection aspect, the journey, and you ended up with saying no expectations. Now that made the audience to understand what's coming next. You started off very simple about your team and the selection of your team. And then you moved on from one step at a time. Because at the end of the day, we all are volunteers and volunteers need a team. And how do you manage your team was beautifully cemented at the beginning. And the best part about your structure of your speech was your message of reflection was there at all points. From leadership to your journey and until you handed over the baton during the last couple of months was beautifully connected across. Now, one strength that I like in your leadership style and your speech was the aspect of everything starts from me. That is where you took up the call, spoke to your team members, because you did not get a division director to speak. You spoke and you became the club growth director. The club coach. I doubt a lot of club growth directors would do it in any other districts across the globe, but you did that. And that made the audience to be sure that we are listening to your speech. Fantastic on that. You touched on aspects like retention, extension, subtly. Retention with the club coach activity, extension through the open house activities, so the audience got the nitty-gritties and the technicalities as well. DTM Khalid, how can we make this better? In my opinion, I would have loved to hear maybe the conversations that you had with your superiors in the fraternity. That was the club growth, the DD and the PQD. Maybe tips that they gave you how to make your role even more better. Because every role in Toastmasters, we have a superior that we do report. We do not report to them, but we work with them because at the end of the day, they're like our boss. So maybe what are the tips that they give you? Okay, Khalid, do this like this. Maybe things can go like this, and how the other seniors in the fraternity did support you. And finally, I would have loved to hear how you subtly got feedback from your team members to make your role stronger as the club growth director. To sum up, I loved it because your speech was simple, because the audience, as a member of the audience, I was connected. Well done on that. Strengths were the 4 pillars that you focused on, and all technicalities were beautifully wrapped in one sandwich, I would say, and I enjoyed it. Just to make it better, in my opinion, we can add a few aspects like the feedback, and one more thing is about your mentors who supported you. And good luck, and looking forward to see or listen to your the next speech in the future. Over to you, sir, and over to you, Madam MC, Toastmaster Noha.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Arshad, for that wonderful evaluation. Now, may I call our timer, Toastmaster Farooq Qadir, to give us the timing for each evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies. The time taken by Toastmaster Rana Al-Manai was 2 minutes, 37 seconds. And by Toastmaster Omar Farooq, 3 minutes, 15 seconds. And by Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah, 3 minutes, 24 seconds. By Toastmaster Zaid Noshad, 4 minutes, 6 seconds. By Toastmaster Vidat Hijazi, 3 minutes, 18 seconds. By Toastmaster Siham Abdul Qadir, 4 minutes, 2 seconds. By Toastmaster Samia Khan, 2 minutes, 27 seconds. And by Toastmaster Kishanti Emmanuel, 4 minutes, 35 seconds. And by Toastmaster Arshad Nizam, 4 minutes, 5 seconds. As we are not disqualifying anybody, this is just for your information, and I'll be sharing this in our Speakathon group for everybody for their personal information. Thank you, Madam. Over to you, Madam Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Farooq Qadir. Now it's the end of our Speakathon today. 9 amazing speakers, 9 amazing evaluators gave us a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, and educated us in several areas and topics. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the evaluators. Thank you for the speakers who have been working diligently and cooperating with me over the past few days. It wasn't going to be an amazing experience if it wasn't for you. And I will end with a quote that setting an example is not the main means of influencing others. It's the only means, by Albert Einstein. Now, I will call our president, distinguished Toastmaster Farhaz Farouk, to give
Can we,
the
madam,
closing
can we have the
remarks.
polls before?
Sure.
Polls for the.
Let's launch the polls for the best evaluator.
Thank you.
Everybody should vote for themselves. Huh?
It's good that I can't vote.
No competition.
Yeah, neither can I.
You can be a tiebreaker. Don't vote for yourself. Huh?
We need to have 5 more. Okay, 4 more.
If I knew there was no disqualification, I would have won for 1 minute.
That's why we reveal it at the end.
We need three more. I think
Please
if we get
cast
1 more.
your votes.
Can we just get one more? That way we should
exactly.
have a clear result.
Don't vote your cast. Huh? Cast your vote.
Cast your votes and also follow us in our social
Toastmaster
media
Oman, you want
accounts.
another vote?
VP membership. The role is going on.
I think we can close it, no, DTM Khalid?
Yes,
we are
yes.
not getting any
Let's
more
close
takers.
Yep.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid. Please like and share all social media accounts, and also sign up, fill the form so we can invite you to our future experience. Of course, every meeting in that is an
experience itself.
In itself. Yes, and over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just ask you one question because I like rhetoric sometimes. Doesn't she deserve a round of applause?
Why not?
Let's give her a big round of applause. Well done, well done. There was a lot of planning. That presentation was simply amazing. How did you manage to get all that information from every single role player? It's not a regular meeting with 3 speeches. There were 9 speakers, 9 evaluators, and 1 timer to boot. And she got information from everybody. So well done. Thanks a lot. Great stuff. And there was a lot of learning just by going through those presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. It's now time for us to quickly, now that the polls are done, I would like to ask the Vice President Education, are you busy or can we do the certificates?
Mr. President, can you do the certificates for a while? Just let me finish with the certificates.
This is what I call reverse delegation. See,
yes,
I should learn to keep my mouth shut.
Brother Khalid was telling about it. Delegate it.
I know, delegate upwards. Reverse delegate. Right, ladies and gentlemen, what
I can depend on you as a service leader.
Of course, anytime, bro. We didn't go to the same school and same class to let each other down like this. So yeah, of course, anytime. While our Vice President Education is getting the certificates of the winners ready, please let me share the screen along with the certificates. I want to make sure I open the right certificates. Yes, there they are. And now my connection says your internet connection is unstable. Why does this happen? Just when I wish to open my presentation and share the screen. Half a minute. I'm just almost there. Open with, and I'll open. Yeah, this is
on the way. Huh?
Yeah. Okay, that's a better program. Well done. You.
Secret program is running.
Yeah. Shh. Don't tell anybody. All right, now here we go. Let me share the screen. Here we go. All right. I don't know why these computers decide to remind me to install stuff at the wrong time. Okay.
If you want, Mr. President, I'm ready. If that
there
can
you
be-
go. See, this is why I told you. YouTube, why do you give words to people who are
Yes.
incompetent like me?
Yeah,
Very
President is
good.
an elegant actor. Huh?
Oh yes,
share my screen, sir?
yes, please.
Okay, sir. Please go ahead. I'd like to
All
first
right.
present.
So
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
yeah, the certificates of participation. Let me present to one of the most prolific speakers that I have seen in my life, DTM Faraz Farooq. Please accept this certificate as a gesture of as a certificate of
Kindness,
participation. Thank you so
kindness.
much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Toastmaster Pitambaran, certificate of participation for you. Great speech, sir. Thank you so much. Really inspiring. Your real life partner. We learned what that is. Next, we have a speech to our bus conductor, to Toastmaster. What a hilarious yet thought-provoking speech. Toastmaster Deepak Narwade. Thank you so much, sir. Certificate of participation to you. DTM Zahra Al Mukharrak, Teacher's Diary. Ma'am, you just took this profession to a whole new level. Well done. Thank you so much. DTM Thuraya Juma, our PhD in mathematics, the smarty pants in the house, running after the Hogwarts Express. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please accept this certificate. Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi, always an inspiring speaker. I'm amazed at how you can do it and the energy you bring to your speeches. Well done. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah. Toastmaster Petra, first time I've really seen you do a full speech, and ma'am, I'm just amazed. Thank you so much for showing us what this mirror of choice is. Well done to you. Next, DTM Ahmad Rizvi, the guru, the godfather. Sir, lead, let others lead. And you have shown this not just by your speech, but you have shown this by action and by creating more leaders. With gratitude, I present this to you, sir. Thank you so much. Lead and let others lead. And last but not least, one of the most amazing CGD reflections I have seen, DTM Khalid. Please accept this certificate on behalf of the club. Thank you so much for everything that you've done and doing for us and the district. Next, let's get on to the certificates of participation for the evaluators. Toastmaster DTM to be Rana Al-Mannai. Thank you, ma'am, for evaluating speech of that useless speaker, DTM Farhas. Well done to you. Toastmaster Umar Farooq. Thank you, sir, for being here. Great evaluation. Next, let's move to the third evaluator, DTM Khalid. Thank you for stepping in. This is what leadership is all about. When one of us is in trouble, another one steps in to help out. Thank you so much. The TTM Zaid Naushad, great evaluation from the teacher's diary, though you overshot the time slightly, but that's okay because the evaluation was very well received. Next, let us thank Toastmaster Vidad Hijazi, all the way from Beirut, the secretary of the club, who participates in our meetings despite all the trials and tribulations she faces while having to do these meetings from Beirut. Thank you so much. Forever grateful, ma'am. Next, Toastmaster Siham Abdul Qadir, Division H Director. Thank you, ma'am, for being a great member of our club and for participating and contributing to us always. Always lovely to hear your evaluations and your speeches. Next, Toastmaster Samia Khan. Madam, thank you so much for your evaluation. It was really refreshing to hear you. And by the way, I have not forgotten that you're a dietitian and you are looking after sportsmen. I try to be a sportsman. I'm trying to be proper at my diet. I'll definitely reach out to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And DTM Krishanti Emmanuel, always immaculate, as the name suggests, I guess, with her evaluations. I've seen her evaluate. I always adore her evaluations, to the point, and great learning whenever I hear this great lady evaluate. Thank you so much for gracing our club, and thank you for adding a lot of value to us, ma'am. And last but not least, my good friend DTM Arshad Nizam, the man who showed me the way to the district championships in District 82 last year. Thank you so much for being a part of this meeting and for this great evaluation. Last, and well, of course, Nuha Madani, our translator, Toastmaster of the evening, mother of lovely kids, everything all in one. And she manages to do all of that while doing a lot of work behind the scene. Big hats off to you and a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nuha. And finally, the man behind the scene, we didn't see him a lot, Toastmaster Farooq. Thanks a lot, bro. Thank you for everything you do. I owe you a biryani and Irani chai in our next visit to Hyderabad.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have the poll results of the poll ready?
No.
Yes, Mr. President, we have them ready. I'll just share my screen again for that
Yes,
one.
please, sir.
I will start with the evaluation, third place, second place, first place, and then the speakers in the same order.
All right.
For
Okay, go ahead. I can see a message from Area Director Toastmaster Ravi Marat, but now he's missing. I wanted to recognize him, but he's gone. Anyway, evaluation winners based on the poll. And in third place, the winner is DTM Zaid Naushad. Thank you, sir. Very well done. See that we have ignored that little thing of yours where you took about 1.5 minutes for it. And there's a tie for third place. Oh, absolutely brilliant. DTM Krishanti. Congratulations, ma'am. And please accept this certificate as well. Second place. Toastmaster Omar Farooq. Well done, sir. Thank you so much for that great evaluation. And I think I can now guess who the winner is. That's mainly because I saw the poll taking place, but there you go. In first place, and the winner of the poll today, Toastmaster Samia Khan. Very well done. Thank you so much for the wonderful evaluation. Very beneficial and great learning from you. Thanks a lot. Congratulations. And please do drop by in our meeting in future as well. Next, the speech contest. Well, the speech, not the contest, but the speakathon winners. In third place, there's a tie between, oh, how did this fellow get it? Farhaz Farooq. I thought he was, anyway. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, PB. Well done, PB. The man who told about who is our better half or the real other half. Thank you so much. DTM PB. Next, in second place, DTM Khalid Abdullah. The CGD's reflections. CGD reflections. Very well done. Congratulations. And the winner is DTM Petra, the lady with the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the best speaker of them all? We got it. DTM Petra, very well done. Congratulations. And with that, we have done with the awards distributions. We are 2 minutes before close of time. At one stage, it was as if we are going to run badly over time. Thank you so much to everybody who helped with catch time and make sure that we end the meeting on time. I have still 2 minutes. And what I'll do is I will ask Toastmaster Sergey Soru Oga to please give your feedback. So you have been with us from the beginning of the meeting. Very quickly. Over to you.
I can see that it's a very good experience following an advanced Toastmasters club. You have a lot to learn. You also have a lot to share, and I enjoy every piece of this meeting. I was hooked and I didn't want to miss anything at all. Even when I received call, I just rejected them all. Thanks for inviting me. I'll make sure I follow you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sergey Soroga. Very well done. And I'm really grateful and deeply honored to hear this feedback, these comments from you. Thank you so much, sir. Please feel free to visit us whenever you have time. Third Saturday of every month, we have our regular meetings. First Saturday of every month, we have a special series of meetings, which we called Old is Gold. Please visit those where we discuss things that aren't really typical Toastmasters. And of course, on and off, we have other events as well. Please follow our social media pages and we'll be there. Also, let me get feedback from Toastmaster DTM Krishanti. Please, quick few words, ma'am. You have been with us right throughout.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank you first and all the members of your club for giving me this invitation. It's, as I said, it's quite an experience to listen to speeches from people across the globe, different cultures and so on. And it's interesting how similar sometimes we are, right, in our hopes and our dreams and our fears as well. So it's nice to hear that. Everybody seems very friendly. Everybody was very nice, chatted with me when I first came. So I want to thank all of you for that. I've enjoyed the meeting, and I look forward to perhaps being able to join you again on another date. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diti and Prashanti. Thank you for those great comments. Now that we are on time, I would like to officially adjourn meeting 221, but I'm not adjourning the meeting as like we can continue to chat. So let me adjourn meeting 221 on time. And now let's continue with our chat. The meeting will of course remain open.
Can we stop the recording?
Yeah, we can.
No.
Let me.
We can. We actually